into this parking lot. Oh. Speaking of parking lot, or not really speaking of which, speaking of heat, I am getting really hot. So we're gonna ditch the cap. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, those are the rides I do. We're approaching the 86th Street and Monon Nora intersection. So you gotta either get to the light or hit the big button, all that jazz. I like this. You can go straight. There's apartments, there's food options and stuff like that, but you can't actually go straight. Ugh. And like, what's the best way to get up? I'm not sure what happens if you count. That's a bit scary. If you count the one in Hamilton County, but in Marion County, this is the longest stretch without an intersection. And this was one of the original stretches. The first part of the Monon that was built in the 90s was between Guadalupe and Nora. And then later it expanded from Nora 86th Street to all the way to 96 at the county border, and then on the other end down to 10th Street in downtown Indianapolis. But this is the original one right here. The original portion. The city purchased the right of way from a railroad company, CSX. They're one of the major freight operators in North America. Was being used, and they just kind of sat on it for a while planning what to do with it. And there are a bunch of proposals for what this right of way, what this could all become. I read that there was done at one point someone would advocate for a rail line, someone would advocate for like a dedicated busway, all types of stuff. I'll link in the description a good article from the Indianapolis Star that talked about the history of the Monon from the perspective of a Parks Board member who encouraged the city administration to buy the right-of-way at the time, and then later helped plan what the Monon would become. What I found most interesting is, as the Monon was being developed and created and then managed by the Parks Department, he said he got a lot of pushback from the Parks Department because the Parks Department wanted to like hold events and build major infrastructure, let vendors set up on it, and he pushed back. He wanted to be like a dedicated space one of the hospitals this year. One was kind of a major reason, and one was not so major, but still not fun. Fortunately, I never got hit with the plague, and as far as I know, nobody's been hit with the plague. Everyone in my circle is protected now, so that's good. Gotta be careful here on this part of Northern, because coming from Carmel, coming from the north side down here, you're going south and you're going down. It's Indiana, central Indiana is not like the land of hills and slopes, but it's gradual. And because it's so gradual, you don't really realize it. And so you're right now, I'm thinking, oh man, I'm making great time, I'm getting good speed, I'm really putting any effort in, but on my way back up, when I'm on my way home, when I'm like 3/4 of the way done with this ride, I'll be like, ugh, this sucks. Why does it suck so much? bridges, driveways. Driveways, not so much a problem with Monon, but it's a problem like the pathways of Carmel. So I hate all this. I hate bumps and bridges. I don't know why intersections cannot just be nice and not terrible. So what we're going to do, it's going to be part one of today's ride. we gotta be a bit careful. Not so much in the morning right now, but as the businesses open up, crowds can generate and stuff like that. It's definitely good. What's the weather like in here now, Tom? Yeah, because, you know what, maybe 2 weeks ago we got like a cool front coming in. When the Pacific Northwest was having that heat wave, we got like a cool front for some reason. It was nice. I wish it was like that all the time. Hit me like a 60-degree day, all day, every day. Just gotta stop it. You know, I don't mind if people who are driving go through those intersections. They have the right way technically. I just wish they would be predictable. They're gonna like edge up against it and then stop. That to me is not a predictable behavior. Man, so you probably didn't see Java House to the left right there at that corner. Java House has 2 locations in Carmel. I've been to both of them, and it's like it's okay. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's such a big deal. Yeah, I've been to Java House a couple times. But that brought up a location is always crowded. It always has to be there. It's weird, there's like 3 dedicated coffee shops. Many of which are local. That are already here. There's another maybe 3 or 4 in the more general broadable-ish area. And the weird thing about Java House is, like, it's not even like everything is cold brew, so like coffee and espresso mixer, I don't even know what that means. What is like a cold brew latte? I don't even know what that means. But that's what it is. It's all cold brew based, and they also have like a lot of wholesale stuff, you know, like the K-cups and stuff you do at home. Which used to be the bread and butter, and like the retail stuff